In Premiere, we have, of course, a nice workflow for it and many options to adjust even the footage later on. But I wasn't certain how it will work on my machine, and so I started out with proxies. And I did this here with a multicam shot, and I wanted to see how I can go here among all of these settings here and get maybe a flow in the picture, get familiar what I have shot, to have the different view angles from the camera and where it fits maybe the most to the song. That was pretty simple, and the multicam editing is of course very comfortable, very fast. You just let run the whole thing and then you click where you think you want to have it, like in a live transfer of footage. Anyway, the downside at the moment, and perhaps it is fixed by now, is you can't write an XML file from this stuff here out and then replace the footage and use maybe Red Cine X to put the red stuff natively out. When you write out an XML file at the moment, you get only one clip here as the base. That is mostly the first one, and of course where it is cutted or edit, but you don't get the jump among all of these in that file. You can fix this, of course, with some hacking in the XML file, but all the options that I had dreamed of, maybe it's now possible and easy to do. It's very fast, and you can edit, of course, several ways and see what works best for you. Very fast, very comfortable, but not really there at the moment. However, in this episode here, I want to talk as well, again, a little bit about the proxies that I had set up here. And you remember in After Effects where I had my time code here and these squares to just know exactly where I have to place the footage. So I see if everything works out with the external compositing tags and the timing and all of that. And that gave me, of course, from the start, my certainty that I have everything in sync. And I could use exactly this part here then to edit along. And this is just on top of this. As you can see here, it goes away and it goes away and it goes away. So just little helpers. That might be confusing, that might be not. It's just a helper, and of course we want to have certainty when we edit. Is it really here? Is it really there? So it was not just editing the A roll and then adding the B roll and hope for the best that we have no conflict among all of these clips. And this here helped a lot. So I was in sync, I knew what was going on, and I knew what will finally be here on A or on B. So having done this, and I have to switch off here the sound for a moment. Having done all of this, I could go here very comfortable into the next game, and that was then to create the A and the B roll. And on the A roll I put the party on top of that, which was here, this part, and I have to go here back to 50% so you can see this. And here I have as well my little helper inside, so even if I'm in the middle of something with my little helper here with the time code and which one is now on, I could see very nicely that I'm exactly on track with my sync work. And party part 2, because I changed my mind of course later on, and here you can see the party is going on, and that was that sub editing part. So roll A contains exactly this, and you see here where we have normally the black stripes in it, these are the longer one. Black stripe means here, if you missed out that in the previous part, where I have editing in the B-roll then. And in the old days, again, you had the edit always from A to B, and when B was prepared with the negative, then the A roll had just black celluloid in it, and so you could just illuminate or project the A and B roll after each other to a copy and have then a new copy with the whole editing. So this was the A roll, very simple here, just editing and then nearly nothing. And I switch here now to this roll, and you can see here, I went one time completely through, and that was more to get really familiar with all of that. But in the moment I had my B-roll, I knew exactly I don't need to edit here, I don't need to edit here, and so on. Very simple, very easy, and comfortable with A and B. I can't stress this enough. And the whole thing was, of course, as you can see here, 50%, it was just done in 4K with red footage. And that helped me a lot, of course, because I saw here always what we have discussed in quarter or half resolution. So I had real-time playback, even if I had everything directly connected to the full 4K footage. And this is like an automatic proxy or offline online editing all in one step. No exchange of files later on, no swapping out. And I really like that. It's so much more comfortable than in the old days where you worked with proxies, as I started out this because I'm so used to it, to work with small guys and then go to the beefy parts. So, and this is all so comfortable that I want to show you that even if we have already edited here everything, we can go back into the bin, go here to source settings with the right mouse click, and then we get here a window open that contains a lot of the Red Cine X parameters, and that's of course beautiful. Here you can see a part that is not changed here at all. So you go to a place where you think, okay, maybe that here is important to me, so I can see the white stuff, the dark stuff, and the skin color and so on. And then I just edit here in the way I like that. And this clip here would be then updated immediately in your timeline. So maybe you want to change the brightness, then of course a little bit, it's a little bit too dark here, and the saturation is way over the top, and so on. And you go ahead and create your image exactly in the way you want. You might save then that as preset, save it to RMD, or you reload it so you can apply this to other ones. And of course, everything is here just similar. And I refuse to say exactly because we miss some magic stuff here. Compare this with Red Cine X. I don't want to go more into detail because everything is subject to change, as the red slogan is, and that will certainly happen. And we will see certainly improvements over the years. And whenever you watch these tutorials, I can only encourage you, go to Red, download Red Cine X if you have red footage to play with. And of course, in Premiere here, have a look to the settings. And in Final Cut Pro X, since some weeks, it's also possible again, or some months, to edit in this with red natively and in a comfortable way. However, as I said, everything changes, so whatever I will say here is maybe not really up to date a week later. So I give you only a hint where to look instead of wasting your time. Use this time and check out Red and Adobe and Apple, of course. Okay, this is pretty much the whole workflow here. I had to render then out the A and the B-roll. And the next step, of course, is then the delivery, which I will discuss in the next episode. Thanks for listening. Have fun with it. Bye-bye.